St David's run a 3-day prospective adopters course, and it's run by Mary Jones, who's a very experienced social worker, and it covers everything about the adoption process, about playful parenting, parenting with what they call place, and teaching you about what life is going to be like for your child who's adopted.
They take you through a whole number of different areas in terms of the process of how adoption works, about the kind of journey that we can expect going through, but also areas of child development, areas of attachment theory, as well as just kind of parenting skills from the most basic to some of the most random situations that you'd never anticipate.
Mary's training was very deep, very immense, wasn't it?
It was incredible.
Yeah.
It was 3 of the best days, and it's something that I think all parents from all walks of life would benefit from. It was just 3 days of let's talk about children, about how we are with children, about how we can be to empower children and be positive and support them.
There was a great moment that sticks in my memory from the training, in which Mary kind of laid out this situation in which imagine your child now in their teenage years is stomping up the stairs. They've been told off or asked to do something, and she kind of recreates this scene, and she yells out, I hate you, you're not even my real mum. And there was that moment. You go, wow. She goes, all of you, one day this is going to happen. You're going to hear these words, and it was just it was refreshing to hear that kind of honesty over something that it would have been one of those fears that you didn't really know how to articulate, you didn't really want to talk about, and she just laid it out there. She said, one day this is going to happen, almost certainly. And she said the question in that moment is, how are you going to deal with it? And rather than feel the emotional pain of that and you take it personally and you kind of fly off the handles in response, it was actually, there's an opportunity for you to say, I am your real mum, I am your real dad. You might not have been born into a family, but I love you and you belong here. And
we were left under no illusion about how tough it might be, but not in a daunting way, just in a this is the real situation. I think that's really important. I think it's important that people go into it with eyes wide open, knowing what they're getting themselves into, as opposed to finding themselves with children, living with children, saying, nobody told me it was going to be this tough.
I didn't have any questions at the end of those 3 days, and you were able to ask questions along the way, and no question was too daft. So that really helped, I think, formalise the fact that I did want to do this.
A few months later then we had our social worker allocated to us, and then it worked out for, again it's different for everybody, but for us every 2 weeks then she came, and I was going to say she grilled us, that was perfect, but she came, she talked to us, and basically just asked us everything, didn't she? Yeah,
so spent months and months on a regular basis just sitting down in our living room, talking about every other detail of life, and it was really good because what it forced us to do was have conversations that we wouldn't naturally have had otherwise.
Basically the social worker came out to meet me in July, and we got to know each other. Again, general questions, a bit like Diane really, that kind of general getting to know you and talking through what we were going to be doing over the next few months. And you build up a really good relationship with your social worker. I think you have to, because they're going to get to know you, they're going to be in your life.
Yeah, I think it is an intrusive process, but I do feel that it needs to be, because they do need to know every aspect of your life to make sure that you can cope with the challenges that bringing a new person into your family like that can cause.
Yeah.
You meet with your social worker about every 2 weeks, and it's about 2 hours roughly. I think mine was probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours every other week. And some of that is kind of given over to lots of questions about your family life, your family tree, growing up, what school was like, whether you experienced any kind of bullying or racism or sexism, or your childhood experience, whether you'd lost people, what your understanding of adoption is, your relationships, your past relationships, if you're in a relationship, how that is. It's every aspect of your life. And I think that you've got to be emotionally prepared for that.
And our social worker, by the end of the process, we were so confident in her ability to to make decisions with our, not just with our best interests at heart, but knowing how we would think, knowing how we would respond to certain situations. And over time we got a real level of confidence in knowing that they knew what they were doing and they knew us.